everybody, and welcome to the XP Classic Jets channel, where I talk about simulating classic jet airliners in X-Plane. Hi folks, and welcome to another X-Plane related video. It's been a while since I did the last one. I've been meaning for quite a while to do a video about the Air Manager panels that I've been developing for the FlyJSim 737-200. And I've just hit a milestone in essentially completing what I call version 3 of the panels. I guess now's as good a time as any to make one. Zooming in now to the lower screen, I've got a composite image made up of the individual panels stitched together to show you the entire cockpit real estate. This is now version 3 of our 737-200 panels, and the cockpit is essentially complete. In other words, everything works, everything that's in the FlyJSim cockpit works as it should do, and really any future iterations of this now are going to be improvements to graphics or recoding, bug fixes if anyone comes up with any of those, although to be honest this is a mature product now and it's a long time since somebody came up with an error. Not to say that there aren't any, but hasn't been pointed out to me for a while. Or if anyone has any improvements, then I'll include those in future developments. So let me zoom in and just pull the panel down a bit. You can see there we've got the rear overhead, everything works except for the flight recorder panel here, which is just a dummy. I don't think any simmer's really going to want to use that, but you never know. If you do, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. The overhead itself, there's the lighting switches down to the Glareshield with the autopilot controls. The main instrument panel, which has undergone a bit of a transformation over the last couple of weeks. Whereas previously the captain and first officer panels were designed to fit a 16:9 standard monitor, they're now full height, and you can scroll the image now up or down to suit particular tasks that you're looking to do. I'll show you that later on. Same applies to the center main instrument panel, which is now full height. We've got, I guess, what you call the lower MIP with the weather radar on it, and then down to the pedestal with all the radio nav, the navcom equipment. You'll notice that there's no throttle quadrant, and that is by design. I think most users of these panels have high-end quadrants, high-end hardware, which they use to control obviously the throttles, reverser levers, stab trim, all that kind of stuff. That's all programmed into buttons or into levers themselves. And so there's no need, I think, to have a representation of the quadrant. What was needed, I'll just zoom into it there, was the stab trim indication, particularly when you're setting the aeroplane up for takeoff. There's actually two of them. I'm only showing one here, but there's the mirror image over here for the first officer's side. I guess what could also be useful would be the fuel levers and parking brake handle, but to be honest, nobody's ever asked me for that, so I haven't done them. I've not needed them myself. If somebody were to come up with a request, then I'd look at it and see what we can do. So that is a high-level view, just showing the whole cockpit. Let's jump into the aeroplane, and I'll get it into the air in a minute. And when you rejoin me, we'll be at several thousand feet, and I'll show you everything moving and show you some of the features of the panels. So you join us back in the air. We're just coming up on 10,000 feet. We're actually quite slow. We're only doing 230 knots. So what I'll do, got the captain's panel open. I'll open up the autopilot controls. We'll select speed push the aeroplane up now to 270 knots. And we've got IAS selected. I think it's a quiet day, so we're cleared up by ATC direct up to flight level 280. Let's see, what have we got? We've got we just departed Shannon, so we've got the Shannon VOR set up on number 2, and I think I've put Cork onto the number 1. So let's select heading and turn the aeroplane, and let's head down towards Cork. There we are, speed now 27270. We can just adjust the pitch command just to that, although we're in a turn, so I suppose we don't really need to do that in the turn, but there we go. Let's see what happens. We've got heading select on flight director, heading selected on the autopilot. There's a little bug that I've got to fix before I go to release. It's one of the reasons for doing testing, and that's just an order of the draw of the different instruments. That this wee little instrument here, which is showing the marker switch, is drawing itself above the autopilot. So that's easy. That's one line of code. I shall scribble that down on my to-do list. Okay, we'll close the autopilot control. Now, just to show you then the panel scroll, I've got Knobster set up here. So I'm going to use the Knobster just to scroll this panel up and down. Previously, that was about the view you had. Now you've got the whole lot. You can do set intermediate positions, whatever you want to do. You can either use the Knobster, or if you don't have a Knobster, this would just be a standard knob that you can use with mouse click or scroll wheel. We've also got a scroll bar, so you can just scroll it up and down manually. Or I've also got 3 set positions set as buttons on the right hand side of the panel, so you can either move directly to the top, set it to an intermediate position which shows the primary flight instruments, or just click down the bottom and it takes you directly down to the bottom. And that gives you, the user, complete control over how you manage this panel. Some people prefer one method, some people prefer another. I'll show you the different instrument options that we have. First up, the clock. In fact, if I click on the middle of the clock there, you'll see a knob come up. That's the yellow there is Knobster active, and that allows me to actually change the time. And I can either go in big steps as I'm doing now. There we go, it's starting to get darker. Or I can go in small steps. So you can fine tune it. And in fact, let's just make it a wee bit darker. See there the panel darkening based on ambient light outside. And if I now shift down, click on the panel brightness and turn that up, there we go, we can see the panel lights now set up, and we're flying the aeroplane at night. Let's just put it back to daylight. So some other instrument options we've got, just click on the screw here and we've selected metric altimeter. It's independent to the captain and the first officer's altimeters, as I'll just show here. Just move the baro settings. Let's take it back to 1013. There we go. Click again, and there's the standby baro, again independent. Click again, standby barrow comes over to this side, clock down here, that's an option on some aeroplanes, or I just go back to the normal panel. We've got two types of airspeed indicators, a combined Mach meter airspeed indicator, and that's a hangover from the 727, or we've got the newer style with the readouts. I've got an RMI here with DME1 and DME2 readouts. Click here. First option that comes up here is we've got a metric altitude repeater, and that just feeds straight off the captain's altimeter here. Click again and we go to an older style RMI with DME2 showing on a separate readout. DME1 of course here on the HSI. A couple of different styles of ADI. We've either got crosshairs or we've got the old style. Let's click again, call up the autopilot and bring down the pitch command bars. Two types of vertical speed indicator, VSI. That's a pseudo TCAS unit. It's a dummy unit. It is possible to make it active by using X texture extractor to show the image generated by FlyJSim, but I just run it as a dummy unit, or there's the old style straight VSI. We've got some altimeter and radar options. There's a digital altimeter, which was an option that I know some Canadian aircraft are fitted with. Another option is to have a tape radalt with the standard altimeter, or tape radalt with a digital altimeter. So quite a few different instrument options that you can configure on the fly as the aeroplane is in the air. Now, I've not been navigating at all. I've really just been worrying about showing you all the different bits and bobs. So let me just turn the aeroplane and bring us around to back towards the Cork VOR. Well, I think I've prattled on for long enough there. It's about 10 minutes and I've still only spoken about the captain's panel. I guess I'll probably do some other videos to show the other aspects of the cockpit. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what our air manager panels for the 737-200 look like. Just to say that the two screens that you could see, one the out the front view on X-Plane and the other the air manager panel, were both running full screen 2560 by 1440 on two separate monitors on the same machine. So X-Plane and Air Manager, they're running on the same computer. Once again, I hope that's given you a bit of a taster. If you'd like to find out more, then please visit our forum/website at xpclassicjets.freeforums.net. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you'll come back and see the next installment. Maybe some more 737-200, maybe some 737-300. We'll see how we go. Thanks very much, take care, see you soon, bye.